Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Blue Collar Fantasy Football. Today we have part 2
Dos.
of our running backs that have been relocated, rehomed. Rehomed.
It just sounds wrong when you put it like that.
It's kind of the most right though. It's kind of exactly what happened.
It's true. They always it always gets crazy.
Just all those vacant years of contracts.
All those void years, man.
All the dead cap.
As
always, guys, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, or like, comment, subscribe. You could even subscribe, comment, like, whatever you prefer. Facebook group, all that good stuff. In the bio, don't forget to check it out. Good people, good questions. Just trying to build some discussion and interaction around the community.
Yeah. Please, let's build something here.
All right, guys. With that, let's get into it. What you got?
All right,
I'm off work now.
Let's start out hot. So, as we said, the Packers lost Aaron Jones. I know. Everyone's heartbroken. We're going through it. But we signed Josh Jacobs. The Green Bay Packers signed Josh Jacobs. I mean, he's the oldest weapon on that offense, and he's 26, 27?
Yeah.
Almost 27.
Yeah.
Something like that.
For sure.
He hasn't hit that age cliff. This Packers offense is pretty impressive with all draft capital. I mean, they haven't bought this offense.
No.
At all.
No, and they're so young.
They're all so young.
Playmakers.
They're all playmakers. He basically received the same contract that Aaron Jones received last time the Packers re-signed him. So really, it's kind of a prove it year by year. I think this year we owe him somewhere in the range of $11 million, something like that.
That sounds right.
But after that, it's all options. So the Packers can either drop him or, they can move on pretty scot-free, and that's huge.
So a lot of the hype I've heard or negativity on Josh Jacobs I've heard.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Is that it's a 1-year deal.
Basically. Yeah.
But you being a Packers fan, you were telling me that it's pretty standard operation for what the Green Bay Packers have signed their guys to in the past.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Jones, I think, has rolled on these contracts for the past 3 years.
Gotcha. So I feel like you're a good point of reference for this.
Yeah.
As a Packers guy, do you think Josh Jacobs will be there in 2 years?
If we see more Josh Jacobs of 2022 than 2023, yes.
Gotcha.
I think he could be there up to 4 years, but that's hard to project. Every year is different. Speaking of 2022 versus 2023, in 2022, he led the NFL. He was the rushing leader. 1,653 yards, 12 touchdowns, averaged 4.9 a carry.
Yeah, he was sweet.
Yeah.
And such a value.
Such a value
in the draft.
Everybody was out unless you were in. 2023, pretty big drop off. Actually, he actually had about half the stats that he did in 2022. 2023, 805 yards, down from 1,653. 6 touchdowns from 12 in 2022. Went down to 3.5 a carry, which that's pretty bad. I mean, you want to, from your starting running back, your bell cow guy.
Yeah.
You need to be above 4. I mean, 4 I think is where it's like, okay, that's serviceable.
Right.
But 3.5,
it's pretty standard.
Yeah, it's pretty average.
It's pretty average.
Sure. Yeah. Average consensus rate or expert consensus ranking.
That's
that is
dumb.
a hard one. Yeah. He's at 10 right now. I love that spot for him, not just as a Packers fan, because if you get the Josh Jacobs of old, that's a value at ECR 10.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What changed between 2022 and 2023?
So honestly, I think
I know.
is the loss of Derek Carr, and it was just
I have a full
gosh.
conspiracy.
Oh, okay. All right. So I really think that offense just got. I don't know. Let's hear your conspiracy theory.
I know what you're saying. The offense was a functional offense, and they lost themselves.
I think it was Derek Carr.
They lost their quarterback. They were trying to shuffle through quarterbacks. They lost their head coach. I mean, it just turned into it was kind of just got really messy overall.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that affects the whole team, affects the system, affects the play calling.
I agree.
My conspiracy.
Yeah, please do.
2022 was a contract year.
Okay.
For Josh Jacobs. Remember, he did the holdout,
did
all that, trying to get his money. And then 2023 came, he got his money, it all worked out, and his production nosedove.
Can I challenge that?
You're going to like my next point.
No,
so
I get where you're going, but go ahead. Finish your thought. I apologize.
I like the Green Bay Packers contract.
It's
every year is a contract year.
Yep.
Keep proving it. I think he is a, kind of a nose to the grindstone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go get mine.
Yeah.
Just based off actions and watching him run.
Yeah.
He's going to go get his. So continue to go get yours every year.
No.
Instead of,
I
that's my conspiracy. He got contract. I mean, you always hear it. Contract year. It's his contract year. He's going to show up this year.
Yeah.
It's his contract year.
Yeah. He wants to get paid.
So here's your contracts, buddy. You got 3 potential years of being re-signed.
I love that.
Of getting paid. He's probably going to end up making more money that way.
Oh, yeah.
If they re-sign him, they re-sign him versus taking a longer-term deal for less money overall.
Yeah.
So I think the opportunity is his. I actually like the Packers contract structure for that reason. That's my conspiracy.
No, I really like that.
You liked, yeah. I told you you were gonna like where I was going. I knew you would.
And realistically, say Josh Jacobs shows out for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be at that age, that higher old man age for running backs.
Yeah.
And it'll be Marshawn Lloyd's turn.
And 2 years would be fine.
Yeah. I mean,
even from a dynasty perspective.
Oh, if you get 2 years out of a running back?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I look at dynasty in 2-year increments. So I don't really care what happens after 2 years.
Yeah. And also the big part of that is
26.
That offense is
he's 26 right now.
Who is?
Josh Jacobs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's not even 27.
Nice.
It's more tread on the tires. It was bothering me. I had to look it up. Pardon my fiddling. So,
to wrap it up, the Packers offense is going to open up a lot of opportunities for the running backs. Because I don't know, you could have 4 wide receivers out there and still, everyone's going to be thinking pass and you could run it. I mean, I don't think he's going to see a lot of stacked boxes with the weapons they have.
No, and I also don't see him losing red zone opportunities.
To Jordan Love.
To Jordan Love or to AJ Dillon.
No.
Who kind of proved, it's pretty uneventful.
Yeah.
If I'm being
unfortunately
brutally honest.
I
don't see him losing. I don't see him being taken off the field because someone has a better specialty than him.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think they got him to be the guy.
Yeah.
Even though that's not what they've had, I think that's what they signed up for with these moves. Because otherwise you tried to figure out how to keep Aaron Jones. And you'd have had a monster of a committee backfield, but they obviously steered away from it.
For a minute, I thought we were going to have both of them.
I bet.
Oh, so excited.
Yeah.
I was about to play some.
I could see you just in the Super Bowl. Sitting over there.
I was at work. And I literally, I run a motor grader a lot for work. I put that thing in park and was just watching the feed for it. I took my 10-minute break right then because I was like, no way this is happening. And it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
That's okay. All right, moving on. Let's keep it moving.
Who you got?
Tony Pollard, former Dallas Cowboy, is now in Tennessee. Yeah. What a disappointing season for Tony Pollard.
But That's another one where I'm like, what changed?
The craziest part about his season last year, where do you think he finished? PPR.
It's probably higher than I think.
Take a shot.
My gut is like 24, 26.
RB 14.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It was dumb because it was so uneventful.
It was, and it was still a letdown.
Yeah, he didn't have the 50-yard breakaways.
But all the running backs underperformed last year.
It seemed like a really down
If you didn't have
year.
Christian McCaffrey, you didn't have a running back.
Yeah, it felt
Or
that
Gibbs.
way. Yeah, Gibbs felt great.
Gibbs felt real good.
Brees was even, it was hard to watch, but it still worked.
Until he got back, he took off.
Yeah, he had a couple games for sure. All right, so the thing back to Tony Pollard. My bad, everybody. We spiral sometimes.
I'm bad on this side of it. Reading guy, I'm like, oh yeah. No, he did that, this. Over here, I'm all, what do you think though?
No,
tell me more.
I know it's the best spot to be.
It's so much better.
Okay, so the question of 2024 is the Tennessee RB1 going to be Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears? Realistically,
neither.
Good answer.
It's gonna be neither.
Ding ding ding.
They are the exact same player.
There's a very high chance this is a 50-50 split.
And they're both receiving backs.
They're both the same guy.
The same player.
Same player, yeah. Now the Titans offense has some question marks, but they added some help in the passing game, which can free up the running game, especially with these more slight backs. I think that's an advantage because they can catch the ball, or they can do those sneaky outside zone runs and gain 15 yards on a run. So there's a chance Tony Pollard could end up doing pretty good here. The biggest question is we don't know what to make of Tony Pollard because he's an efficiency back who wasn't efficient last year. I mean, last year he averaged 4 yards a carry. We just went over this a little bit with Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
The previous years he was averaging 5. That doesn't sound like much. Oh, it's 1 yard a carry. Well, realistically, the way that breaks down, it's a lot more than you think. 1 yard a carry.
It's a ton.
It's a big difference.
It's a ton.
Broken up over 200 something carries.
It's like 2 points a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 extra yard a carry is like 2 points a game.
So
who'd you rather have?
Yeah, give it to me.
Spears or Pollard?
Pollard.
Okay.
Dallas was pretty messy last year, despite what the scoreboard showed a lot of the time. That defense overperformed in very strange ways, and I don't think that happens again. But, I think it's going to normalize a little bit because Tennessee needs to score.
Yeah.
Dallas, most of their points were scored on defense, it felt like, for the first half of the season.
And last year, too.
Yeah.
So you'd still take Pollard, even if he was 3 rounds earlier than Spears. So I'm looking.
What round? Yeah, what round are we talking about? Because that changes my answer.
Well, I don't have that exact thing, but I have
a rough guesstimate.
So Spears is RB 37 for ADP.
Okay.
That is 122.
Okay.
Quick math. You got it?
Yeah, sure.
Pollard's 91.
91?
Yep. Pollard's going next to Jalen Warren, Raheem Mostert, Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, James Conner.
Okay. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Okay.
Pollard or Conner?
Give me 3. Yeah, no kidding.
Conner.
Or honestly, Warren. I'd rather have the upside of Jalen Warren.
All right, I'll give you a...
Give me a couple by Tajay. Just a couple.
No, I'm going to give you another one by Tony Pollard. Zamir White this year.
Zamir.
Yeah. Let me see. Tajay Spears. Right below Tajay Spears, Gus Edwards. Yeah. And Gus Edwards is projecting to go... Sorry, this list is so small. Four picks later.
Yeah. I might be out on Tennessee running backs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just for the value.
No, I might be out.
Right there with Devin Singletary's right there. Nick Chubb's actually right there. So Nick Chubb's, I mean, it's not right there. It's a round sooner, but it's 111.
Yeah. All right.
for Chubb.
You heard it here first. I'm out on Tennessee's running backs.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, once you actually sit there and look at
it's
it,
a good exercise, though.
You're like, okay, so 3 rounds later, I can have Tajay Spears. I think they're very similar. I think they're going to get very similar production.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to get very similar performance.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Tajay Spears had his, he had some flashes last year.
Yeah.
And they put him out there when they shouldn't have. Over and over again. You have Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And Tajay Spears was out there constantly.
And that was a hard battle because at the same time, it's like, let's see what Tajay can do. But you got Derrick Henry.
Instead, they're trying to figure out how to throw Derrick Henry the ball more.
Or Derrick Henry throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
stuff's sweet though.
Yeah. So Tony Pollard's ECR right now.
Dude, I squirreled.
Yeah, it's all good. That's what it's all about. His expert consensus ranking is 24 right now. That's what I have on mine.
I'm on ADP.
Oh, there you go. So, RB24.
It's high.
It feels high.
It feels high.
Because, perfect example, Austin Eckler is 32.
That feels super high to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't.
Yeah.
They both did. They both were underwhelming last year, but I'd still rather have Eckler.
He showed no juice last year.
I feel more optimistic about the Commanders than I do the Tennessee Titans.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree.
I feel better about Jaden Daniels than I do Will Levis this year.
Ooh.
For managing an offense,
I might like Levis.
I'm pretty hyped on Jaden Daniels, dude.
Me too. I don't know.
But they got Calvin Ridley. Anyways, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
Who you got next?
All right, so I got Devin.
To be continued.
Yeah, to be continued for sure. We will talk about that. But I got Devin Singletary. He went from the Houston Texans to the New York Giants. As we touched on with Saquon talk, the Giants are a run-first offense because that's about all they could do.
Yeah.
Realistically. I got some interesting facts with Devin Singletary. He has never hit 900 yards rushing, but has always
Really? Not even last year?
But has always led his team in rushing.
Oh man, he's had a hard go. Oh, poor guy.
Well, he started out with Josh Allen, so that makes sense. Last year, Dameon Pierce was a ghost. But yeah, it's shocking, huh?
It is shocking. Because I knew he's always led the backfield.
Yeah,
but I didn't know he's never broke 1,000.
He has broken 1,000 total yards. I want to say every season.
Okay,
but so he has a little receiving work in his pocket. It's clearly the
combined yards.
Yeah, combined yards. It's going to be the biggest opportunity of his career. I think he definitely could hit 1,000 this year. I'd be almost surprised if he doesn't.
I'd be surprised combined. I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
Yeah, you don't think he'll hit rushing?
Man, I like Singletary a lot as a player.
Yeah,
I do not like the New York Giants as a fantasy team this year.
No, I'm with you.
I mean, they got Neighbors. Daniel Jones should come back healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They were just so rough.
Yeah,
it was, it was just Saquon.
Yeah.
And when he was there, they just watched him. But with Singletary, I don't think they have that luxury.
Yeah.
Of just hand it off. Hand it off. And he went that way last time, have him go this way this time.
Yeah, but Singletary will probably see less stacked boxes.
Yes. That's what for sure.
Yeah. And his competition in the backfield is Eric Gray, who we all tried to make a thing for a minute last year. That didn't work out. And the rookie Tyrone Tracy, he's a 24-year-old rookie who was formerly a wide receiver. I think that's more of a new kickoff rule ad than anything. I think he's a special teams guy, but you never know. He could carve out a role.
I kind of like him.
Somebody heard a blurb and started watching tape.
Dude, I did. I heard that's exactly what it was. I heard one thing and I kept it, and I was like, might be something.
Yeah. So from week 9 on last year, He averaged higher than 4.5 yards a carry in every game but 2.
Nice.
Second half of the season, he was moving the ball. He finished RB32. The first half of the season was pretty spotty. He was still splitting with Damian Pierce and Agumbawale. I mean, Texans are kind of crazy with how they do running backs. But he did carve out that second half role for sure.
He won it.
Oh, 100%.
He won the job.
He won that job. And he got himself this contract. He earned this contract.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So he finished RB32, and his ECR is 33. So they're expecting exactly the same, which I think is a little low. I mean,
I think it's accurate. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of red zone work.
Well, that's fair.
With the Giants. So I don't think you're gonna have a lot of input coming in from touchdowns. I think you're gonna be you're gonna be pretty happy with 10 points a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Solid, just I think it's gonna be a floor play. Because I think he's gonna have I think he has the job there.
Yeah.
But I think probably 10 points a game.
No,
he keeps beating his head against the defense, and at the end of the game he'll have 10 points.
I think he'll have a couple games though where it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's an RB1.
Yeah, if they figure out how to move the ball.
Well, yeah,
I'm pretty down on the Giants.
No,
pretty down on the Giants.
I'm with you. So let's move on. Since you're out on the Giants, I don't blame you. Zach Moss, he was an Indianapolis Colt last year
and killed it.
Oh, he killed it.
He
looked so good. He looked better than Jonathan Taylor for a minute.
You know what's a bummer?
Yeah.
So Zach Moss was out there killing it. Top 10 RB for
Fantasy Rewind.
For fantasy. Like 3/4 of the season, he wasn't super playable once Jonathan Taylor came back. But anyways, he was out there putting his head down, killing it, and the other guy got paid.
Yeah.
The other guy got paid.
Yep.
For all that work.
He did.
Just food for thought.
Yeah, So I do love the fit with the Bengals.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone wants to be a Bengal right now.
Yeah, no kidding. He could also see a massive workload along with Singletary. I mean, I think there is Chase Brown in behind him, but Chase Brown has had chances and he's looked okay in some spots, but I think this is Zach Moss's backfield for the most part.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think Zach Moss is lacking anywhere that Joe Mixon's been producing last few years.
I'm glad you brought that up. So Joe Mixon, little stat here. Joe Mixon saw 64 targets last year, averaged 7 yards a catch. Pretty good receiving numbers.
Pretty good. I'll take that.
Zach Moss saw 37 targets, averaged 7 yards a catch. Okay, so half the targets.
I see a trend here.
Yeah. Joe Mixon averaged 4 yards a carry. Zach Moss averaged 4 yards a carry. It's now realize Joe Mixon finished, I want to say RB11.
Yeah.
And Zach Moss finished RB29. It's the amount of
That's different.
Well, but you got to realize Zach Moss only played half the year.
Right. Jonathan Taylor came back. They had two different quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Well, I guess, and there was backup quarterbacks on both teams.
Rushing quarterback for a little bit. I mean,
3 games.
Well, no, I'm talking. Oh yeah,
Anthony Richardson was 3 games.
It's so weird that he's been hurt more times than he's played. That's wild.
Easy.
But anyways, I think there is a lot of upside for Zach Moss.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's what I was saying. Well, you proved it.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon wasn't like you. If you watched it, if you didn't look at his points,
yeah,
until after the game was over, but you just watched the game, you'd be like, man, I don't think he's getting very many points.
Yeah,
he didn't look super elusive, didn't look super quick. Whereas Zach Moss was running people over.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna finish. I'm all in. I really like Zach Moss this year.
So yeah, he finished RB29. But his ECR is 34. So they're projecting him to finish the same way he ended, last season. I think that's low.
I think that's super low.
34. In this hype.
What do they project him to lose the job?
I think they're scared to project Chase Brown to not be half. I mean, and it could be a split backfield.
Could be. I don't see that happen. I don't see that coming.
I don't see it either. I think he has a chance. I mean, shoot, looking at the numbers, he could really get up there.
Yeah. Oh, Mixon's been killing it.
Yeah, and
the last few years,
and he's not crazy efficient. That's the thing. That's the point. It's not that Moss is crazy efficient.
Mm-mm.
It's Joe Mixon is not that efficient.
No.
In this offense, you do not need to be Aaron Jones.
No, you just need to be there.
You just need to be there, catch the ball when it's thrown to you.
Yeah.
I'm in. I really am.
That all I hear is value.
Yeah.
That's all I hear is value.
Yep.
Because yeah.
No, I'm in too. All right. So, you ready for my last one? You're gonna
lay
like
it on
this
me.
one. Ezekiel Elliott. He's back, baby.
Perfect.
Jerry Jones' prodigal son returns. His boy's home.
You predicted this one.
I did. He scored Zeke on
waivers
League. Yeah,
Dynasty.
Oh,
before it happened because you predicted it.
It was the only spot.
It made lot. It was as soon as you told me, I was like, oh yeah, let me go check the waiver wire.
He's coming back to a great offense. I mean, they can move the ball there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it was a really weird year, but they're the Cowboys. They can move the ball. They're gonna pass. They're gonna pass down to the 10-yard line, hand Zeke the ball 4 times, tell him to go get it.
And they did take quite a few offensive line players in the draft.
I definitely notated that. They went full trenches in the draft.
They did. I mean, they didn't take a running back.
Yeah, or wide receiver.
Yeah. They went full trenches, which is
it's hard to
It's
argue
not
with.
flashy, but it's sweet.
You can't.
It's sweet when you're putting a middle-aged running back there.
It's weird because he could get all the volume. He could have, I can't project this, but he could have 350 carries,
and
it could be a disappointing season.
Yeah, he's not
efficient.
Even if you go back on his stats, though, he was never super efficient.
No, I think it was his rookie year.
They were just
that was about it.
I think it was just the owner being all about him.
Yeah, Jerry loved.
I mean, he must have looked awesome in practice. He must have looked irreplaceable in practice because I don't have it in front of me, but from looking over it, it wasn't like eye popping.
Yeah, no.
For it's Zeke. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was one of the best. Oh, it's Zeke. Everyone knows Zeke.
Yeah,
and then you go back over his stats, and it wasn't anything like spectacular.
A lot of volume.
It wasn't no Brees Hall.
No, it was
A-chain numbers.
They fed him. He said, "Feed me," and Jerry did that.
They fed him. But it's such a untrustworthy backfield.
It is because honestly, if they said Rico Dowdle's our running back 1,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Week 1, if he's the one that takes the first snap, I would almost bet on that. And Zeke gets worked in mid-season more and more and more and more.
I'm lost.
I'm
so lost scary. On their backfield.
It's so scary. I'm terrified to pick.
You came here for answers on the Cowboys backfield?
No,
not me.
No, we're not there yet.
I don't think they. Well, I also think they know what they're gonna do, but it's such a toss up. They didn't get rid of anyone.
No,
they didn't make.
It was a safety sign.
They just added more options.
Yeah,
and they might just cycle through them like that.
But the
hot hand.
Yeah, well, and the pro case for Ezekiel Elliott is he could see every goal line touch.
Yeah,
he could end up the season with 10 touchdowns.
Oh, easy. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and he could have 700 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I almost want to project that over the alternative. You know, 1,000 yards and 5.
Yeah,
no, there's no way. But it is a very hard to project outcome.
It could be. He could have everything.
Yeah,
he could have every touch.
This could be the year where the wheels they're like run it till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's horrible.
Weird. It is.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
But it is weird because his ECR right now is 51. That's not. Don't take that to the bank. There's
it
no
just
way.
happened too.
Yeah, it just happened. Rankings haven't adjusted.
A hype video hasn't came out of how ripped he is. In his crop tops.
Where do you think Ezekiel Elliott finished last season?
I paid zero attention to Ezekiel Elliott last year.
I picked him up and started him one game, and it hit, and I bailed, and it worked. But
you're asking me, so
yeah, what you got? Where do you think he finished?
35.
30. One spot below Zach Moss.
I'm taking that as I won.
Yeah,
I think I nailed that.
I'll give that to you.
I think I nailed 100%.
that.
He finished where? What was the last part you said? With Moss?
Oh, one spot behind Moss.
Dang. Moss fell off a cliff.
Because
he was so good. He was so good.
All right, so now we're going to get into just a couple honorable mentions. So Deonta Foreman, he was with the Bears last year in that muddy backfield that they had of 3 or 4 guys. He landed in Cleveland behind Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford. I don't expect him to see much playing time, especially once Chubb returns to a full health, if that's possible now.
I watched him snap in half.
So
I hope he comes back. He is a stud.
I love Nick Chubb.
I love Nick Chubb.
That hurt our feelings when that happened for sure. But I do have one more guy. We're not going to get crazy into Deonta Foreman because he's going to probably ride the pine, as they say, for your fantasy team. He's just a depth piece.
He's a depth piece.
I don't even have his ECR or where he finished last year. But one guy, it's kind of growing on me, man. And I don't know, it might be gross, but Antonio Gibson. I know.
Yeah,
it's Washington, guys. I might have a
we're fantasy players. We
Yeah.
We believe in Antonio Gibson year after year.
Yeah, year 4, sure. I'll do it again. So he went from Washington to New England. Obviously, this is a whole new coaching staff here in New England. I was listening to a few different fantasy analysts and what they had to say about it, and he could really excel in this offense, I think. And this Alex Van Pelt came from Cleveland.
Okay.
So Gibson excels in the outside zone run. Get to the outside and find your spot. He had one of the best rates in zone run.
Gotcha.
Percentage. Ramondre Stevenson had one of the lowest zone run rates last season.
Wow.
He could see the field more than we expect. It could be more of a 50-50 backfield. I'm not going to project that right now because who knows what the Patriots are.
I don't know what the Patriots are.
Yeah, I mean, they had Zeke rolling out there instead of Ramondre some of those games last year.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, yeah.
It's
if
weird.
you drafted Ramondre, you remember.
Yeah, it was kind of painful. But, hey, we were talking late shots on our bench for high upside. Yeah, I'll take Antonio Gibson. Sure.
That's fair. Are you more excited for Antonio Gibson, or does this hurt Ramondre more? Do you get what I'm saying?
I think...
Is it more exciting for Antonio Gibson, or is it more of a detriment for Ramondre Stevenson? Because he was alone last year and underperformed.
Yeah, that's really true.
And now I think he's a capable... Antonio Gibson's capable.
He is. It would be really interesting to see him as an actual, he's our running back. But we're not going to see that.
I'm not going to see it. He couldn't beat up McKissick.
Yeah, it's very true. In the perfect role for Gibson. But I think it's going to hurt Ramondre more than it is fantasy usable.
For Gibson.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But, yeah, I don't... It's so muddy. It's hard to say.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that because it's weird. Like all these free agency moves. I mean, the whole deck got shuffled, and I think they either went to these teams that are trying to just surround their guys with targets and weapons. You know, the
Yeah.
rookie quarterbacks are trying to pump it up.
Yep.
Or they went to these super questionable, which I guess Patriots are the same thing, but they're just all like so questionable because we don't know what they're going to be because it does rely on the quarterback so heavily.
Yep.
But just follow the trends. I mean, they're the same team. They're the same weapons overall.
For sure.
Patriots are still the Patriots.
They are.
You know?
Yeah, they are.
So,
Well, should we close it out?
take her home.
All right. So thank you for stopping in. Thank you for watching this long.
Yeah. No kidding.
But we really appreciate the support, and please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell icon.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, please. Get it going.
If you don't like our advice, share us to your teammates, your league mates. If you think we're wrong on everything,
yeah, that's good advertising.
send us to your league mates. You're welcome.
All right, we'll catch you next time. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys.